MLW is back. MLW is back on YouTube. It's a great day. The MLW is back. So this is a good thing. This is the MLW. What is this called? Alpha. The Alpha Show. It's going to be a couple of episodes of MLW on YouTube before they have the big Fightland show, which will be on Vice. I forget the date. October the 7th. On Vice TV, I believe it's a Thursday. So they'll be running probably head up with Impact. And I think Dark Side of the Ring will still be on too at that time. So it's going to be a lot of stuff going on that day. But the match is going to be Alexander Hammerstone versus Jacob Fatu. So that's going to have my full attention. I already have Vice. I don't have to pay it extra for it. So, wait, no, because it's on Vice. It wouldn't be Dark Side of the Ring. So, yeah, okay. Dark Side of the Ring should be over, or maybe it's going to come on after. Maybe. Anyway, Hammerstone Fatu match is going to be lit. It's going to be lit as F. Anyway, Dario Cueto, a.k.a. Cesar Duran, opens up the show talking about the new era of MLW, the era of Azteca. And he ran down the card and said that he comes to appreciate violence. And that he's appreciating those who appreciate violence. So we get the opening match is a Bunkhouse Brawl, Team Filthy, which includes Kevin Koo and Kit Osborne. And they're still doing this terrible, he's Rip Von Erich, the son of Lance Von Erich, which is ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. But I will give MLW credit. They have maintained storylines after being down for so long and popping up occasionally and then going back down. They still have managed to have a storyline. This Team Filthy versus the Von Erichs feud has been going on for 2 years. It literally has. And it hasn't. The reason why they've been able to get away with it is because of the lockdowns and everything. Like, MLW didn't run during the lockdowns. So they was able to sit back and come up with stories and, work on all sorts of deals and everything. So, Ross and Marshall Von Erich versus Team Filthy. It was a pretty solid brawl. For the most part, there wasn't too much in the way of weapons. If I have any complaint, I would say it was probably too long because it was a very long opening match. There was not a lot of weapons either. It was just a lot of guys doing moves to each other. A lot of punching and kicks and suplexes on the floor. So it was a good fight. The finish came with Marshall Von Erich doing a moonsault on a stiff board. The one member of Team Filthy was on top of the board. The other one was underneath it, and they were stacked on top of some chairs. So it was a pretty, got a pretty good crunch out of the board, even though it splits right down the middle, like all these boards happen to do. And so the Von Erichs win, and this was fine. Throughout the night, we kept being told that the Von Erichs and Team Filthy were continuing the fight, but of course, we couldn't see it. The fight being a visual medium, we were not allowed to watch these guys fighting. I don't know why. I don't understand it. We get introduced to the women's featherweight division, which features, I think, about 10 female wrestlers. The Sea Stars, who I've seen in Impact, I think they work in Shimmer. Brittany Blake, who I've never seen before. Zoe Sky, never seen her before. Willow Nightingale, who I just saw in Ring of Honor on their women's division tournament. I want to say she was also in Impact, but I'm not sure. Nicole Savoy, who was also in Ring of Honor in their women's tournament. I think I saw her somewhere else too, but I can't remember. And Holly Dead, who I've seen on the Independents. So that's going to be the women's featherweight division. Of course, it doesn't make much sense considering how do you put somebody like, let's say, one of the Sea Stars, who is very small, in the same division as Willow, who is, let's say, healthy at every size. Healthy at every size. Now, she's cute, but she's a big girl. You're not going to get women's featherweight division. No, no, she's not a featherweight. She's not. She's not a featherweight at all, bruh. All right. Conan did a promo reintroducing LAX because, of course, we haven't seen them in weeks. And I've completely forgot LAX was even in MLW. But, so they did that. You had TJP, who cut a promo on Davey Richards of the American Wolves, who is, back to wrestling. Despite the fact that he's been around for a long time, I don't know how many matches of Davey Richards I've really sat and watched. I don't think it's been many. And I know, of course, I've seen him wrestle a lot because I watched, the Wolves when they were in TNA. I watched a little bit of his stuff in Ring of Honor, but I don't think I ever sat down and just ranked Davey Richards. He just seemed like a guy in the ring to me. But speaking of guy in the ring, TJP has the charisma of a sack of almonds. In any event, he talked about how him and Richard known each other for 20 years, and he used to get excited thinking about wrestling Richards, but now he's just concerned that, Richards is going to quit halfway to the ring. He says that, he's the hardest working guy, he's a globetrotter, and that used to be what Davey Richards is. And that Davey Richards spent more time in books and not enough time in the ring, and he's going to show him, that he's the best and all that stuff. Davey Richards countered this argument by saying that, he always wanted to be the best. And, he always wanted, and to be the best, you have to fight the best. And MLW has the best. That's why he came to MLW after his, I guess, self-imposed retirement. Then he says TJP used to train him in Japan. So it's going to be an honor to face him and even more of an honor to beat him. Says he's going to show the passion, the spirit, and the intensity that only he can have, and that this wrestling is the only thing he knows, so he doesn't expect to have any ring rust. And this led to the main event, TJP versus Davey Richards. It was a solid technical match. There was nothing spectacular about it to me. There was kind of a T-bone suplex on the ring apron. That was pretty dope. But otherwise, it was just a really solid technical match between two guys who were, almonds. They're just a sack of almonds, unsalted, unsweetened. And it's a good exercise match. They tried to put some heat on it by, having the promos earlier. But, the matches you can only do so much without these guys getting into contact with one another. But I still enjoyed it. It's hard for me to enjoy TJP. So Duran was approached by Matt Cross, who called him out for, says that, last time I worked for you, I beat the champion. So I think I deserve a title match. They're hearkening back to Lucha Underground. They're keeping Lucha Underground's entire kayfabe going. Now, he's not, I forget what he was called. Matt Cross was wearing a mask in those days. I think it was Son of Havoc, I think he was. But I guess he's just going by Matt Cross now. The guy's painfully short. But he's calling out champions. Says he wants a title shot because he last time he fought for Duran, he earned it. And Duran thought about it. I'm guessing he's probably going to get a middleweight title match with Myron Reed, which ought to be fun. They had a vignette for a guy named Alex Kane, the suplex assassin, and he was rapping. It was, the suplex assassin, Alex Kane. And I was like, what on earth, bruh? At least MLW is keeping their eyes open. This kid's black, so at least I'm gonna play the race card a little bit here, just a little bit. At least the kid's gonna get a shot. Not thrilled about the whole rapping thing. It's just too prevalent amongst kids these days. I call him a kid. I don't know how old he is. I'm just gonna assume that he's a kid though. But I can't stand it. Cannot stand it. Joseph Samael cut a promo saying that Hammerstone thinks he can do what no man has done in 2 years. That him thinking that he could take the title from Fatu is arrogance in its purest form. He said, "You're not leaving with 2 titles. You're leaving in a body bag." Hell Contra. Hell Contra. So, let's see. Let's continue this. Casey Navarro versus Gino Medina. There was only 3 matches on this whole show. This was the second match. This is a fast-paced, small guy match. You know, kind of a cruiserweight style match. Gino Medina has a hell of a finish. You know, Casey Navarro impressed me when I saw him in Impact. I know he wrestled in AEW on Dark, but I didn't watch it. I just know he was there. But Casey Navarro really impressed me when they did that tournament in Impact. And I just yelled at the top of my voice that, you know, Impact should have just signed him. And he gave me Rey Mysterio vibes. The kid's got something. Gino Medina is the one Booker T student where I was just kind of like, I don't get it. Like, you know, usually when Booker T students, you know, I see them, I see something in them. I may see what, you know, his lessons, his teachings, but I don't see nothing in Gino Medina. I just don't see it. I don't get it. I've seen enough of Gino Medina over the last couple of years, especially in MLW. I just don't get it. I don't see why people like him so much. So the closing segment, which was not the closing segment, it's just the last thing I'm going to discuss, is Tom Lawler bursting into Cesar Duran's office as Cesar Duran was on the phone. Lawler is saying, you know, he thought he worked for some scumbag promoters. He even thought that Dana White was the worst. But then he came across Duran, who was coming into MLW as the new matchmaker and changing up things and deciding who gets title shots. He says that, you know, he won everything in MLW. He should get a title shot. He's a former world champion. He won an Opera Cup. He should get a title match. So Duran hugged him. Said that he's been looking for him and heard that Tom Lawler truly understands violence. This gives Tom Lawler a chance to play around on the punching bag that Duran has in his office. And he says that he's feeling insulted that Duran is overlooking him for a title shot. So Duran says, okay, you want a title shot? You'll get it against Alexander Hammerstone. So he has to wrestle Alexander Hammerstone for the National Openweight title. And it will take place next week. And at least I believe it's next week. But anyway, this was a very solid episode. They do a lot in an hour. So, yeah, you know, sometimes when you use time efficiently, you can get a lot of stuff done. They don't try to squash a lot of matches in. 3 matches, a bunch of promos. They did a lot of in-house cleaning, you know, keeping people up to date on the storylines, just in case you haven't been watching for a while, or if you're new, you know, they keep people in. They did a lot of selling for Fightland, which is going to be their big show. I guess it's going to be from Philadelphia. Now, the Fightland concept is great. The Fatu Hammerstone match ought to rule ass. The problem is going to be that it's going to be taped. So that means that the spoilers will be out there probably for like a week or 2 before the show actually airs. And that's not going to be fun at all because somebody's going to F around and spoil it. I already know it. But, I mean, I can't expect MLW to have it in their budget to run a live wrestling show on a Thursday at night. You know, I just can't expect it. But I'm looking forward to it. MLW is one of those promotions I actually do like. It's like NWA to me and Ring of Honor, where they're kind of like hobby promotions. Not everybody likes them. Not everybody gets involved with them. But I like to cover them. I like to talk about them because, you know, they're interesting. They do interesting stuff, even though I'm not always thrilled by what they do. They always do interesting stuff. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, donate to the channel. Thank you guys for your time. I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace.